Hi folks, so I've just celebrated what I like to think is a pretty important day, and I've coined that my Liberation Day. And it was just 1 year ago where I was liberated from the corporate environment, or as an employee anyway. And I just wanted to share some thoughts on this past year and what it's been like, some of the ups and downs, and maybe there's something in here that resonates with some of you, and maybe some of the things that I'm able to share are up and coming for you in the future. So it was definitely a pretty interesting transition, and it's neat how things really can work out in life when you put certain things in place. You know, when one door closes, another opens. The day that I was liberated, I actually ended up moving into that very same day. I had 3 sales calls with new prospects. I've been doing marketing consulting for quite some time now. But it was sort of neat looking back how they were actually set up in advance of this happening. So it was really a quick transition. I got the news and left and went to Starbucks, got prepared for my meetings and headed into them, and had a couple good client opportunities coming right out of that. So I'd actually been preparing to do marketing consulting for quite some time, and had a couple clients that I was helping out, you know, just on a small scale at first outside of my corporate gig. I really saw an opportunity to grow that as an actual business, you know, and it was great being able to see the impact it's making on small and medium-sized businesses. So, you know, the first couple of months definitely, well, quite a few months actually, were a real challenge, and not that the work was difficult, but the challenge really was figuring out, what do I want to offer to the world? What's the best business model? For those of you in marketing, you know, there's all different ways to be able to provide marketing deliverables for companies, and I really wasn't sure exactly what model that I wanted to have. I knew I didn't want to build a, you know, say a traditional style agency, you know, with a large office, overhead, those sorts of things, and really saw a different path for myself. But after you know, many meetings throughout the first handful of months, you know, there were some opportunities that turned into actual client work, and then there were some opportunities that didn't turn out. And you know, looking back, those opportunities actually were very helpful, because it helped shine the light on what things were a good fit for me and where I was a good fit for other companies. And you know, as you know, there's no one person for every company, whether that's an employee or as a consultant. So you know, the wins definitely helped out, especially in the short term, you know, to be able to get the revenue we needed to be able to grow. But the no's also were equally helpful. You know, there was actually a week quite some time ago where we ended up doubling our entire client roster in 1 week. It actually almost happened in 1 day, but I had to come back for final approval. But that was definitely an exciting time, and took our business on an entirely new path. You know, I launched a podcast this year, the Master Modern Marketing Podcast, and that was really, you know, that was really quite interesting. The people I had access to and the conversations I've had was really very beneficial and powerful. And it wasn't something I was expecting, but it was definitely a nice benefit from the podcast. Also, I ran a number of digital marketing seminars, and was also I spoke at the Indigenous Tourism Association of Canada conference, and was a keynote speaker at Travel Manitoba's annual conference, and that was pretty cool to be able to be speaking and presenting what I have to say in front of over 200 people, and ended up building some great relationships from that. And that really is a good segue, I think, into the people this year really have been outstanding, and have been a great asset and resource for myself. And for those of you that know me well, I like to help out people and share advice whenever I can. I realize sometimes I give advice and it may not be wanted, but ultimately, you know, I'm trying to help people out and you know, look out for their best interests. But people really stepped up this year. You know, and I was, you know, a little hesitant to name any names because I can't list everybody, but really, you know, one of my early mentors, Joe Cardillo, jumped in and offered a lot of advice and insight, and we discussed some different opportunities. You know, really close friends, you know, Muna, for example, you know, opened me up to an opportunity that turned out really well, and I've been able to provide some value to someone there. And even you know, a good buddy actually, Pete. This was interesting looking back, where there was a Sunday night at hockey, and he's one of those good friends that, you know, they can tell if something's not right because they know you so well, and asked me how things were going and what was wrong, and I actually didn't think anything was wrong until he asked me that question, and then I realized, oh my gosh, it's Sunday night, which means tomorrow morning is Monday, and I need to go to work. And it was bothering me to a point that other people could see it, even though I didn't necessarily realize it at the time. So definitely he was a great friend. And then, I mentioned the Travel Manitoba crew with Lillian and Brigitte, just lots of people that were excited, to be able to see what I was building and excited to play a role in helping me build some success. And that was really, truly inspiring, and I'm definitely very grateful to all those people. If I could pick one thing that I would love to be able to change from this past year, that was, the amount of stress that it caused for Rebecca, my wife. And I won the lottery of life back in high school when we met, and everything in my life has been better since we met way back then. But as much as I had my head down and was trying to build the business and make a go of things, she really had the stress of the entire family on her. And thankfully she is incredibly strong and totally supportive. I'm sure she had lots of doubts throughout the year, but I always knew that she was in my corner, and 100%, we wouldn't have been able to get to where we are right now, if I didn't have that support in her. And as I mentioned, I'm celebrating my Liberation Day, but at the same time, today is our wedding anniversary. So I just wanted to once again, say how much I'm thankful for you, Rebecca, and I love you very much, and I appreciate you being in my corner. To wrap up though, anyone else, if you have any questions or comments, I'd love to be able to hear, if anything resonated with you, or if you were on a similar path at one point where you hit a crossroads and had to be able to take one direction or another. And I guess I would leave you at this, that life is too short to be doing something that you don't enjoy. So take risks, put things in place to be able to be successful, and I guess most importantly, looking back, surround yourself with amazing people that you can count on to be a support and to help open doors for you as well. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.